important thing I want you to know is that he is my friend, and I want you to know him and receive him. He retired from teaching in 2003. Now, when most folks retire, they sit around and twiddle their thumbs and go traveling and maybe, get the camper and hit the road. No, that's not this man. He has many things in his repertoire currently, though he's not teaching. He is a magazine editor for Black Renaissance magazine. He is the curator at the Schomburg Reading Room, Schomburg Center in New York. He has a total of 17 books, poetry and prose. His latest book is The Architecture of Language. He contributed to the book Pursuit of Happiness. And I want you to know that in January of 2009, he begins filming Miles and Me, which is based on his book of the same title, based on his book. Its release date is late fall 2009. Would you all please welcome brother man, my friend, Quincy Troupe.
They start to shoot the film in November of this year, and it will be out next year. And Samuel Jackson is playing Miles Davis, and Lawrence Fishburne is playing me, and Halle Berry is playing, I don't know who she's playing, but she's in it. And Kerry Washington is in it, playing my wife, Margaret. I wrote the screenplay, and so I just wanted to clarify that. Today I'm going to read poetry. I ain't going to read no prose. I'm happy to come back to St. Louis. I'm always happy to come back to St. Louis. I didn't think I was going to make it today because of the weather. Coming in from New York, about 100 miles out, we started to shake a lot. Because Ike don't like nobody, so it didn't like our airplane or none of that, so we were shaking all the way in. I want to introduce my mother, who's angry with me. She's sitting right there. I ain't gonna tell her age because she gets mad every time I tell her age, and that's my cousin Kayla, my cousin Donald, and Alvin, PJ. So, my family from here, What's that? Somebody else back there? Kayla's back. Who else? I can't. Oh, Charles. I don't know him. Charles Quincy. He borrowed my name, My daddy gave me that name. So he borrowed it, Like I said, I'm glad to be here, especially for George Sam. I want to thank George Sam and the New Arts series here for bringing me here. I don't like to talk too much. This is about as much as I'm going to talk. I want to say one other thing. I was on my way to Houston with my wife because I had some engagements there on Thursday, and from New York. And we got into Dallas, and the woman looked at my ticket and said, I think you should reconsider going to Houston. I said, why? I said, the hurricane's going to go west. She said, no, but the latest is going to come up into Houston. And she says, honey, I don't think you'll get out of there for about 5-6 days. I said, oh, so I changed my stuff and went back to New York, So I just wanted to say that to you, I wanted to say that to you. Sometimes the Creator is looking after you, My good friend Michael Castro is sitting there. I used to help him edit River Styx, and how you doing, Michael? An art of lost faith. An art of lost faith. for Robert Ferris Thompson, Maya Darren, and my good friend Ishmael Reed. Beginnings, a place of silence. I'm going to read 2 parts of this poem. It's 5 parts long. In a place beyond our knowing, silence reigns, darkness. Perhaps some light echoes in this vast space. Perhaps it is a never, 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 never world, an ether world of maybe. If spirits among us know what it is, they have never spoken. Perhaps shadows have over underground in some invisible space surrounded by air, water, where spirits of creation exist, swimming or zooming around outside our comprehension. A place where only imagination through prayer can maybe take us to a road. Perhaps a passageway stretching long and far, deep into the past. Perhaps a doorway leading to nowhere or what nobody knows. Only silence maybe knows the language echoes speak in this vast space, place beyond our knowing. Are bones, teeth, hair, rib cages, skulls, toes, fingers there? Are maggots there too? Do they speak some kind of music in this beyond world? Do they understand silence, the twilight world of myth, the memory of water, earth, sky, wind, the memory of fire, earthquakes, thunder, the memory of storms, lightning, ice, the memory of creation, birth, death, the memory of everything, 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 here and gone, everywhere. A mystery is what we know is certain. An idea of something without shape or form, pulsating with what we know is power. It is a metaphysical presence. A blessing with what we know is the ability to heal and destroy this space we live in only by its invitation, sanction, only by its blessing. This place we've been born into with so much amnesia. When time was young, in the beginning, no one knew what the beginning was, what force, what act, what mass genius pulled the trigger that shot time into space. Was it a commencement, an inauguration? All of this was in fact true. Was an installation, a swearing-in drama, and time in the opening act was perhaps dressed up as a bird, was all in feathers and flew. Where? Nobody had a clue, though all unheard voices from then say it flew. That it became a silent language when anything open tried to breathe, attempted to speak. A blue original whispering, a kind of hushed utterance, slipped out, became a newfangled mode of communication. Only circling hawks understood the frequency before time did a boogie woogie, boogie woogie, boogie woogie boogie, boogie boogie woogie, shuffled, folded its wings, dove back into the dazzling hole it flew from in the first place, trembling like a breeze-licked petal. And it was bright before anyone knew the beginning of sound was time. Light, a short period measured by intervals, a second, a silence, a beat in the duration of speed and space, though some seconds had no sense of rhythm, were caught up in the blind spots, gaps in the yada yada yada, yada yada yada, yada 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 power of crows, who were colophones perched somewhere back in memory, fixed high up in cerulean air, where some were even seen signaling through large beaks, looking like etchings of black men wearing headdresses of feathers Then this poem flashed forward to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, picked up that once magical scene before Katrina came and swept away everything in a loop-de-loop, loop-de-loop, loop-de-loop of wind and rain and violent swirling water, the stupidity of avaricious men, the creative genius of all those African Indian tribes dressed to the nines, playing all that wondrous music, dancing up a storm. Then the winds of amnesia tore up the original roadmap, and we found ourselves navigating inside our own frazzled brains. Now, some of us find our spirits wandering around tasting cobalt chemicals on our tongues, sluicing through our brains as time pulse beats between two sapphire stones at opposite ends of the world. We bore witness before a swirling cloud dropped from the sky. It was the moment some of us finally knew the beginning of time was the vanishing of light, fleeing the gloom of these days without heartbeats. We never understood why. We never even heard the trembling whisper raised at that precise moment, why no one felt the truth of light leaving was in fact the beginning of all the silence, of all the dark days that were to come. I just want to say why I read those poems, because I think we're in the dark days. You know, we have so much amnesia. We have so